Hello, everybody. Eric here with a weekly wrap up for the week of June 29th through July 5th. On my channel, I had a couple of reviews that I bumped up ahead of some of the other things that I had read before, but two things that were sent to me directly from the publisher, so I decided I would, since they were sent to me for free from the publisher, get those reviews done and posted. And so on Monday was a review for Gangland's Doom, The Shadow of the Pulps, 50th Anniversary Edition, which was originally from 77, I think is when it originally came out, which isn't exactly 50 years, but maybe 74. Anyway, it's all about the pulp character, the Shadow, but it focuses completely on the original pulp magazine / novel stories, not the radio show, movies, any comic books, any of that other stuff. And it's almost sort of an encyclopedia or a great reference guide. I don't know the copyright status of the Shadow, but it would be a great reference guide if you were writing stories. But anyway, that was on Monday, and then on Friday was The Shadowed Circle number 7, which is I believe it's quarterly, but I'm not 100% sure how often it comes out, but it's a magazine, a square-bound magazine from The Shadowed Circle, which put out Gangland's Doom as well, and it's a bunch of articles about the Shadow. This time it does cover every aspect of the Shadow. Like there's one, it's the second part of an article from an earlier issue about the Shadow and Doc Savage in comic books together, teaming up. All sorts of really cool stuff. And so that was Friday's review. Please check those out. And Wednesday's Reading Remembrances was June of 2007. So that's what went on the channel. Work was a very short week. I only worked 3 days. Friday, yesterday, was July 4th. That's a paid holiday. And I chose to take off July 3rd so I could go see a movie. And we'll get to that shortly. So I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday was a paid day off. Friday, a paid holiday. And that was nice. Working 3 days. It's going to be tough going back to a full 5 days. What the hell? And tomorrow's the last day before I go back to work. But 4 days off in a row, not a bad thing, aside from me having a terrible, terrible headache today. So, yeah, that was it. Nothing special. Oh, we did have a new person start at work. So I was training somebody, which is pretty easy. There's not a lot to train, just have to show them how to do it, keep an eye on them. They've just spent 4 days, since it was a 4-day week, just practicing. And they'll spend all next week practicing before they actually start doing the real deal. And yeah, that's all that went on. Nothing special at all, except we didn't have or barely had any of our Vitamix stuff to do, so we spent most of the week doing other people's work. But anyway, so I took off on Thursday, and I went to a matinee showing, 9:40 in the morning, of Jurassic World Rebirth. I saw it in 3D. It cost me, I ordered, I didn't think I needed to order ahead of time for a 9:40 showing, but it is the summer, it's a holiday weekend, so because I ordered online, there was a service fee, but it still cost me less than $13. If I just bought the tickets at the theater, it would have been $11 to see a movie in 3D. So, unfortunately, I wanted to get one of the T-Rex head popcorn buckets, but they had all sold out on the first day because the movie opened on July 2nd, Wednesday, July 2nd, and they had sold out all their T-Rex heads. So I didn't get one of those, which is fine. So the movie itself, Jurassic World Rebirth, I would give it a a C plus, a B minus. Not the worst Jurassic movie that I've seen, but certainly not the best. I thought it was fun. I thought it looked great. The dinosaurs were cool, which is I'm going there to see dinosaurs eating people. Dinosaurs looked great. The 3D, it wasn't one of those 3D movies where things are coming out of the screen at you. It just gave it that extra depth, which looked really cool. All of the actors, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, everybody else, the young girl, very good. Fine performances from everybody. Just a few kind of unbelievable things. And I think as someone, I had watched a review, and that reviewer pointed out far too much of people dangling from places or their legs sticking out of places or whatever, and dinosaurs missing them by that much. It happens so often in this movie. Is that considered a spoiler? I'm not saying whether the dinosaurs eventually get them or not. I'm just saying there's a lot of dinosaurs missing people by that much. And there's some instances where it seems, to me, completely unbelievable that people didn't see something. One place in particular, it seems completely impossible for things to be revealed in the way that they are. And of course, people make stupid decisions, and there's some huge coincidences. But overall, I had fun, which is what's important to me. I got to see cool dinosaurs. I got to see people being eaten by cool dinosaurs. So, like I said, C plus, B minus, that area, whatever falls between C plus and B minus, that's what it would be. So Jurassic World Rebirth. So then after the movie, I went to the Great Northern Mall in North Olmsted, and there's a Half Price Books. That's the Half Price Books I go to, is in North Olmsted. So I picked up a couple of things. So I picked up Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. And this is from, what's the copyright on here? 2014. Now, I really enjoyed episode 13, so I wanted to read more Craig DeLuey. But we'll get to that but here in a moment. So I got Suffer the Children by Craig DeLuey. And then I got Craig DeLuey's brand new one, My Ex, the Antichrist. Now, so as I said, I loved episode 13. I reviewed it. It's on my channel somewhere. But his last movie, How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive, I picked that up, and I don't remember how much I read, but I did not get into it at all. So now, I'm kind of not worried about the older book, but I'm a little concerned about this one. But it does have Antichrist in the title, so there's that. And I believe this is all epistolary. But if you listen to the titles again, How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive, My Ex, the Antichrist, it feels like Craig DeLuey is stepping into Grady Hendrix territory. That's certainly what How to Make a Horror Movie and Survive felt like to me. And Grady Hendrix is an author that I have enjoyed well enough, but I'm not a super fan. I know there's a lot of people that love his stuff. I liked My Best Friend's Exorcism, and I liked the Final Girl Support Group, I believe is what it was called, and I liked the Haunted Doll one that I can't remember the name of now, Haunted House one. But I didn't love any of them. I might have given them, I don't know if I gave any of them 5 stars. I can't imagine I did. But he's a fine writer. He has some interesting ideas, but the stories are too funny. They fall into that category where they're too funny to be scary and too, well, I don't know. None of them have been scary to me, but they're not like laugh out loud hilarious like a Jeff Strand, or to use a movie, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead's the perfect mix of horror and comedy. There's some absolutely hilarious moments, and there are absolutely horrific moments. And Grady Hendrix for me, does not hit that great balance. Again, they're fine. They haven't blown me away. And unfortunately, it feels like Craig DeLuey is stepping into that pond. Sort of the way that I've talked about this before when, not Angels and Demons, but the other one, the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code became such a huge hit. So many authors, so many publishers started putting out stuff that was just like the Da Vinci Code, all trying to ride the coattails of the Da Vinci Code. And I could be completely wrong, and hopefully I enjoyed this book. I spent some money on it, but it just feels like Craig DeLuey is doing that Grady Hendrix thing. We'll see. Am I up on a soapbox right now? I don't know. But I feel like Stuff for the Children is going to be straight horror, and this is going to be more of that light horror. Episode 13 was definitely straight horror. But we'll see. Anyway, I picked those two up at Half Price Books. And then so I had some adventures with Amazon. I ordered a book, and it was supposed to arrive on Tuesday. And I like to, once I'm home from work, I like to track my orders. I'll bring up Amazon, hit returns and orders, hit track the package. I like to watch that little car moving along the map. And so this book was supposed to be delivered between 5:30 and 7:30. And at one point, I saw the little car on the map 4 stops away, and then it disappeared. Like, not before my eyes. I wasn't watching it and it blinked out. I went and did something. I don't sit there and stare at the screen. But I came back and did not say delivered, but that little car was gone. And it never came back. But at one point, when I refreshed the screen, it did say delivered. It said it was left near the porch or front door. There was no package anywhere. There was nothing. I checked all around the yard, the driveway. I checked the porches of the houses on either side of me. I checked the 3 houses directly-ish across the street. No sign of any package. And there was no picture of the package having been dropped off. So, I'll give it a little time. We'll see. Well, I went to Amazon, clicked on package wasn't delivered, and it said wait until 5 p.m. Pacific time. So, the next day. So, okay, I'll give it some time. So then on Wednesday, we were all home. Everybody was home. My sister said, hey, you got a package. Doesn't feel like there's anything in here. And so I should have grabbed this. Got one of those white bubbly envelopes. Not sealed. Doesn't look like there was even sealant on it. Because there's nothing sticky at all. Doesn't have that, you pull the thing off and it's got the sticky stuff underneath that you fold over and seal it. That's not even on there. So, not sealed at all. Completely open to the world with nothing inside. So, I contacted, but this time it said delivered. I checked Amazon. It said delivered, and there was a picture of it on the porch. I don't know what the standards are, what the drivers do, but why would you deliver an empty, obviously unsealed, empty envelope? I don't know. But anyway, so I contacted Amazon, and I explained the situation to them. They said they would replace it, and this was all through typing on the keyboard. I didn't literally talk to somebody. They said, we will replace it. Should arrive by Saturday. Fine. The next day, check my emails, and there's an email saying I have until August 1st to return the original delivery, or I will be charged for it. So I contacted, this is right before I was leaving to go to the movies, contacted Amazon again, and told them, look, I can't return something that I never got. I do not want to be charged for something I never received. So they said, we've taken care of it. We'll see. We'll see what happens around August 1st. And if I see a charge for $12.99 plus tax, I'm going to be contacting Amazon again, and I'm not going to be happy about it. But all of that being said, today, the book finally arrived, and that is Hot Musket by Judith Sonnet. And this says, Hot Musket is an old-school sleaze book about a group of young, partner-swapping friends who go on a yearly hike into the Utah mountains, hoping to get away from civilization and do some dirty deeds in nature. They have no idea that an old man with an antique musket is waiting in the woods for them. Inspired by the kind of reading material that you could only find at newsstands and adult bookshops back in the 70s, Hot Musket is a modern take on retro sensibilities. This book is intended for adult readers. First of all, I love that cover, and this is something different. I know that Judith Sonnet is into that, I don't know if retro would be the right word, but that sort of old school sleaze. One of the great things about Judith Sonnet is not only does she write all sorts of different things, but she enjoys all sorts of different things. You know, she loves quiet horror, and she loves sleazy porno stuff. Excuse me. And just reads all sorts of different things, enjoys all sorts of different things, and just an all-around wonderful person. I know that her pastiches are very, very good. I've talked about that before. She did a 50s sci-fi pastiche that was near perfect. She's done the Italian horror movie, sort of Lucio Fulci pastiche with Hell, and its sequel, whose subtitle I can never remember, Hell, it's City of the Living, Killing Dead, something, whatever it is. Both of those fantastic, and so I'm very, very interested to see what she does with this. And again, great cover, great artist, love Judith Sonnet, and it finally arrived. Very happy about that. And one other thing I picked up at Half Price Books. I chose not to pull it out of this pile and show it to you, but it's a card game called Doomtown Reloaded, and it's a deck fashioning game. I don't know. It's not a deck building game. It's not a collectible card game, because there aren't any like rare cards to find. But you can. It comes with 4 decks, 2 of them pre-made, and you're not supposed to shuffle. It has a how to play guide. It's got its rule book, but then it has a how to play thing where you take these 2 decks. One person takes one person takes the other, and it actually goes through step by step from the order that the cards are in these pre-made decks. So you follow it, and it explains why you're playing the cards that you're playing, to help you learn the game, if that makes sense. There's a number of games that have done this, but there's enough cards in there for 4 different decks. There's 4 different factions: the Law Dogs, the Sloan Gang, which are bad guys, outlaws, the Fourth Circle, which is a carnival freak show kind of thing, and the Morgan Ranch, I think is what it's called, which are ranchers. But this is in a weird West kind of world where there's magic and there's steampunk kind of stuff. And every card is either a character or a dude, a deed, which is a place, an item, which could be guns or horses or things, or I forget what the last thing is called, but it's going to be like events and different things. And each card has a suit and a number, like a deck of cards. It's ace through king. Aces are 1, kings are 13. And so you're going to be playing cards out, and the different cards have different abilities. Sometimes you're going to have to tap it or exhaust it. They call it booting it, to do whatever it does. And but you're going to have gunfights and things. And the way you have gunfights is you form a posse, which will you draw 5 cards, and then based on the abilities of your posse, you might draw even more cards, and then you might be able to discard some cards and redraw them. And then from however many cards you have in your hand, you want to make the best 5-card poker hand that you can. Now, the highest rank is the dead man's hand, and that has to be an exact dead man's hand, which is aces, eights, and a jack of specific suits that I don't remember. But that's the highest rank, and there is also 5 of a kind, because there are 2 jokers, and you might have, and most likely will have, duplicates of suits and numbers. And you can make a cheating hand, but there might be penalties for that, because there are cards that have reactions to a cheating hand. But anyway, you make the best 5-card poker hand you can. Your opponent does the same. You show them, and then they're ranked from basically low card is rank number 1, dead man's hand is rank number whatever it is, 11, 12, 13. And everything else is in between, a pair, 2-pair, 3 of a kind, full house, etc. And then based on the difference in the ranks, let's say I won with a full house, you only had a low card. That's going to be like, let's say that's 5, a difference of 5 in our ranks. You take 5 casualties, which means you have to get rid of some of your dudes. And basically, at the end of each day, if one player has more control than the other player has influence, the player with the control wins. But you can buy, apparently there were booster packs or different things that you could buy, so you could fashion your deck. You don't have to use the decks that come with the game. You can make your own for your own playing style. But there's no like rare cards or anything. So it's not a collectible card game in the sense that, if I buy enough booster packs, I might get this super rare, super powerful card. Anyway, I like the Old West theme. I like the magic and steampunk theme. We'll see if I ever get it played. But that was at Half Price Books. It was cheap, so I grabbed it. Let's see. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else really that went on this past week. Short work week, saw a movie, bought some books, bought a game, had a headache today. Wasn't even sure I was going to record these videos, but I still have the headache. It's not nearly as bad as it was. So that's it. I think that's all I've got. Nothing else is coming to mind for what went on. And question for the video. Well, two questions. One, you ever had any problems with Amazon? Anything that's just really anything they've done besides their business practices that that has just really pissed you off? I wasn't super pissed. I generally don't get super pissed, but it was annoying, and I'll be at least a little pissed if I get charged for a book that I never received. So that's the first question. Any problems with Amazon? The second question: are there any authors that you read or have read who completely changed what they were doing in their writing, seemingly to follow a trend? Hopefully that question makes sense. And again, I can think of a number of examples. When the Da Vinci Code came out, Brad Meltzer went from political thrillers, legal thrillers, to Da Vinci Code kind of stuff. Conspiracies with secret clues and ancient secret organizations and that kind of thing. He really went like way into the conspiracy, secret society kind of thing. Sarah Pinborough seems like she went from straight horror, like her leisure stuff, to the sort of Gone Girl type of thriller. And I could be wrong in that interpretation because I haven't read tons of her new stuff, and I've enjoyed what I have read of her, that type of stuff. But she's certainly not writing that straight horror stuff anymore. And I'm not saying this is bad in any way. And I mean, maybe it was just a natural progression for Sarah Pinborough. Maybe it was a natural progression for Brad Meltzer. And James Rollins felt like he did the same thing. He was writing these straightforward, sort of adventure, hidden society, twisted science kind of things. And then he started his series, I can't remember what it was called, Delta Group or Sigma Group or something like that. And again, it was, oh, we're following these ancient clues type of thing. And so, and you know, I mean, we see it in media. Some type of TV show or some type of movie is successful, and all of a sudden everybody's trying to copy that success. So it's not surprising to see it in books. But have you ever come across that? And how did you feel about it? I stopped reading Brad Meltzer. They may have been fantastic books, but it's not what I was really interested in reading. And, you know, with so many other books to read, I don't need to read those. I love his legal thrillers, political thrillers. And same with James Rollins. I read one or two of those Sigma or Delta or whatever Force books. And then I was like, I don't really need to read these anymore. I've got so much other to read, and this isn't the type of story that interests me. And unfortunately, I don't know if Craig DeLuey is going to be the same. I could be completely wrong about what's going on, but his last book and this new one just have those Grady Hendrix vibes. I think I wouldn't be surprised if I really, really like Suffer the Children, and maybe, I don't know, My Ex, the Antichrist could be fantastic, or it could be just another sort of Grady Hendrix kind of light horror novel. We'll see. But what about you? Have you come across this? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, or corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post spoiler warning. We try to be polite here on my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. All the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, I'll have links for my Instagram and Bluesky in the description below. That's all I have for you this week, so until next week, read more books.